Hello, welcome back to a podcast that now has a name, Manic About Movies. I'm
Yeah,
Chris. That's
you forgot my name.
Aaron.
You forgot my name.
And I would never. I
Forgot my name.
was yep, I did. And this week we are going over the movie All Quiet on the Western Front. Now, you want me to start it off or you want to give a quick synopsis of your thoughts?
Well, I will say this. Rotten Tomatoes score 90%, so it's
Uh-huh.
got some glowing reviews. I wrote, I think besides Tenet, I mean, this is only the third movie of yours that I've written notes for. Parasite didn't have as many notes. Tenet had quite a few, but I think this one takes the cake on notes for
Uh-huh.
me. So I could either start going through the movie, all my notes. I could give a quick synopsis, give my thoughts. Um,
Uh, I think we should just do just quick. I mean, this one I would think first, did you watch it in subbed or dubbed?
just Netflix. It was English dub, so I just watched it like that.
Oh, that's so terrible.
I'm sorry.
I, I would expect you to only know maybe one actor from this movie.
Yeah, only knew one.
Daniel Bruhl probably is who I would think.
Yep, that's exactly who it is, and
Yep.
that's in my notes. Every filmmaker's favorite German to cast in a movie, Daniel
Yep.
Bruhl.
Well, I
Every
mean,
American
this
movie.
is an actual German movie, but
Yeah, but I'm just saying every American filmmaker's favorite actor is
do
Daniel.
you Do you know he's don't I'm pretty sure he didn't wasn't born in Germany?
No, I actually looked that up because I was like, oh, it's Daniel Bruhl, and I was like, let me see, because I know Inglorious Bastards, and I looked it up. He's like born in Spain and grew up
Yup.
but he like because his parents didn't trust German hospitals, so they went over to Spain for him to be born, and then just came back to Germany.
Yeah, and his dad was born in Brazil.
Interesting.
So, so he is I just saw an interesting fact. He is fluent in English, Portuguese, Spanish, French, and Catalan as well as German.
Yeah, I when I looked him up, it was he has citizenship basically everywhere but America. He has citizenship in Germany, Spain, and I think Brazil. I thought by now he would have American since he's worked in a zillion American movies, but I guess 90% of them are probably not filmed in America, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
But
So
go ahead, go ahead.
well,
I
so
interrupted.
so what's your overall? We'll just start off. What's your overall impression of the movie?
Overall, I think it's a pretty good film.
Uh-huh.
I will say it's kind of hard with a film like this, war movie especially, because I feel like I've seen so many and everything's been done. So like when I see a scene, I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like
Really?
my first notes, I said opening scene. Well, I thought the forest cinematography was great, and I was like, I wrote down the like first notes were the trench scenes remind me a lot of Paths of Glory from good old Stanley Kubrick, and also when they're storming, it kind of gives Saving Private Ryan. And maybe that wasn't even the first movie that did it, but it gave me those vibes.
Hmm. I find this one more of a brutal.
That's true. I mean, Saving Private Ryan, the opening scene's very brutal.
Yeah, but I think just with the beginning of the movie, with all of them being happy and being like, "Oh, I think you accidentally gave me the wrong uniform. This one already has a name,"
Oh
because he
yeah,
doesn't realize. It's just like subtle things like that that like I haven't seen in some movies. They're just darken darken
that's
this one compared to the others.
I guess that's true, but I guess like with most war movies, we've never seen a German perspective.
Yeah, but that surely also happened for like both sides.
I don't know. In World War One, Germany was a little different. World War Two, I
Yeah, but
think, is
like
kind of more even.
with Russia during the Second World War, that would have happened. Uh, that would have surely happened with like pretty much everybody except for America during those world wars, just because we went in so late or we went in
Yeah,
across the
we
world.
were quote unquote neutral until we got attacked both times, but we were not neutral.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wrote that was like the next thing, saving jackets and the shoes, and then Palmer, whatever Paul was what they call him in the dub. He enlists against his family's wishes. He's all excited. All the kids are so happy to go to war. I was like, that propaganda is killer. They're all super happy. And I was like, the reusing of jackets, that's an interesting theme. This is one thing I thought was jarring and I did not like.
Uh-huh.
The music.
You didn't like the music?
Like it was very Christopher Nolan, boom, boom, boom. It
Yeah.
just doesn't sound like it fits 1917 war movie, you know what I mean?
I don't think it was meant. I don't think it was supposed to fit the times as much as it was supposed to fit the emotions.
Yeah, but I don't even see how it fits the emotions. Even like somber scenes is like boom, boom, boom. I'm like,
I thought the score was pretty well.
okay, okay. But this is something I have to address. So after Paul gets shot in the head, right?
Yeah.
The very beginning, and he survives it. I started thinking he's gonna survive some being the protagonist, and I mean, all his other friends are dying. I started writing down a list on the like side of my page, and we got all the way to 10 pretty much unsurvivable things that he survives. So we have one, I said Paul survives bullets to head. Two, they get bombed and he gets crushed by the all the wood around him in that bunker they were sitting in. That's two. Three, they when they're stealing, the farmer shoots at them, survives it just by running away from the bullets. Four, when they were rushing the French trenches, he survives all of that. Then once they get in the trenches, the tanks attack, survives that tank explosions and blowing them up. Then they start blowing up with the tanks. He survives getting legitimately blown up. It blows up at his feet. He flies 20 feet. He survives that. Then planes are flying over and shooting down everyone, survives the plane attack. Then he gets in multiple hand-to-hand combats throughout that scene, survives all of them. Skinny, scrawny kid with no training is beating all these other warriors.
Uh-huh.
Then they go back to the farm to steal more, and they start getting shot at again. Survives a second time, and in the last stupid battle, which I still don't get about this movie, he survives all the hand-to-hand combat until he's finally stabbed in the heart from the back.
So have you ever thought about he's just built different?
I mean, he's built very skinny and he hasn't eaten. He's gotten beat up this entire film. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually with all these injuries, it builds up so you're so weak at the end. Not this guy. Starving, only surviving on some bread and potatoes, and all of a sudden he's this god.
Yeah.
I knew at some point he was gonna die because, everyone else was. But
Hey, and you know this is written on a book by a book, right?
no, I didn't.
Oh yeah, it's based off of old book.
Is it a fictionalized book?
Yeah. I mean, it's historical fiction.
Okay, okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, I mean, it just got started to get a little bit unrealistic to me. It was like the bomb is like everyone else is getting, splattered into smithereens by these bombs, and one lands 2 inches from his feet, and he's just okay.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
um,
I guess we can go through the timeline.
yeah, I'll go off where we left. The reused jackets, and then they're all singing the song about waiting for the girl to become of age. It's like, oh, we're gonna have sex with her, but we can't yet. We gotta wait one more year. They sing that as they're all, over and over again when they're marching. They pull up to the spot. And then this is a question I had. because they just pull up. So is there no training, or in this movie do they just skip basic training or anything like that?
I think there was little to no training just because the vast like amount of people that were they going through is like you learn on the job because
Yeah, that's
we
true.
can't afford the time.
I mean, I would assume they would have had some, like at least how to shoot a gun, but it just seems like he literally threw them out there. And I get it, their front lines are just meat in this war, but
Yeah, I don't know. It was just we have we've lost so many people. We just need everybody.
yeah.
That's kind of how it was.
And I don't remember this character's name, but I called him Four Eyes, one with glasses in the beginning. Couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him. He was 1 second cheering about how happy he was to go to war, and he's can't even get a gas mask on and screws over Paul, and he's crying, I can't handle this, Paul. I can't handle it over and over again. Over and over again. He's just whining, whining, whining. And I was like, I'm so annoyed with it. And then they're, sitting in the trenches and they're talking about how, oh, it's going to be my first French. I'm going to kill him. I don't know what accent that is. I apologized to anyone. Then Four Eyes dies. And I said, man signed up for it. He did it.
No, I think his name was yeah, his name was Logan
Yeah, I could not
Or
remember his
Ludwig.
name.
His name was Ludwig.
He died pretty early, so
Yeah,
I
I mean
forgot.
he died at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he survived the beginning parts, and then the first battle he's dead. And then this is when we're introduced to Daniel Bruhl's character.
Yup.
And then we go to what's his name? It's not, I always forget the other guy's name too, not Jaden, but the other main character that takes Palmer under his wing. I always forget his name because I feel like they've very rarely said it until he's,
Oh, like his name was like Kaczynski.
you might be right.
That was his last name. His first name was let's see. His first name was Stanislaus.
Okay, yeah. So Stanislaus? Okay, so they break into the farm and they get one singular goose and they're like, we're gonna be fed forever. It's like it's one goose, dude. It's gonna feed maybe 4 people, maybe 5 max. They're all having fun together. I enjoyed this scene where they're all cooking the goose and they're, just having a fun time, like talking. There's like some humor as always is with military people. They find the humor in things. And I was like, they're bonding now. And then these 3 random wandering women pull up, and then the one
The
character,
ones that are fleeing their home.
yeah, I guess well, it's not explained. They don't say what they're doing. They're just pulling
Yeah,
the
no, yeah,
carriage.
they're fleeing home because the Germans
I'm sure, but
and their French ladies.
oh well, they were very happy to take in a random German soldier. He abandons his unit, which I was like, is that allowed? Are they allowed to just sit there and watch him leave?
He's a lucky one. He gets to leave.
Yeah. And then they sit down, and I didn't know it was the shitter at first because what Paul was just sitting there writing in his book, and Stanislav comes up and pulls his pants down. I was like, where's this about to go? He pulls up so excited, and I was thinking, he's got a picture of like his wife or something because he got mail, and I was like, oh, is this what's about to happen? He's about to yank one out in front of Paul. But no, I guess it was just the bathroom, toilets, and then he can't read it. So he hands it to Paul. Paul reads it. Son dies. And then somehow the guy comes back, got laid, found some love of his life. He's got her, what's it called? I don't even, is it a
Uh,
handkerchief or
I, uh,
it looked like
uh,
it's just like something that everyone ties it around their neck in the movie later on.
oh, those are underwear.
That was not underwear.
Yeah, those are underwear.
No, it was not underwear. They
That he was
talk about
sniffing.
it. It wasn't underwear.
Yeah, they probably
No,
called it like undergarments, but yeah, it was her underwear.
they talk about undergarments, but I swear if you look at it the rest of the movie, it's two like very long, thin thing. It just looks like a scarf.
I'm like 90% sure that was her underwear.
We'll look it up after the fact. We'll look it up after the fact. We'll see who's right. So I'm pretty sure I've never seen underwear like that with like little flowers on it and long skinny thing. But he comes back, he's got that. Everyone's pining over sniffing this woman's
Underwear.
scarf and or underwear. And then all the army eats is bread, and even the rich German leaders are eating the finest bread. It's like everyone's eating bread. And also, what I noticed, it seems like the fictionalized war where they're just sitting there with these 1917 muskets and just have unlimited ammo to
Yeah.
shoot. And I never see them reload except for once. So I was like, they have a crazy amount of ammo on these 1917 muskets. A really bad effect is when they come and they start burning people,
Uh-huh.
and they burn the Clip. What's his name? The friend? When he gets shot and he starts getting burned alive, it looks really bad. You could tell it's just like
Yeah.
really bad CGI on that part.
Uh,
And then Paul gets into this like tiny little ditch in the middle of all the French kicking the Germans out. The guy gets blown up because he throws a grenade and he falls in there, and he stabbed him in the chest like 7 times with a knife, shoved
yeah.
mud and dirt into his mouth. And the guy survives for quite a while, and all of a sudden he tries to save him, and I was like, it's a little late for that, Paul.
Yeah, because he was running off adrenaline, and then he was like, "Oh shit, what did I just do?"
Yeah, but he didn't have problems killing anybody before. Now all of a sudden,
I think it's because it was so close, and like they were there together, kind of.
yeah, and that's what I was saying.
And because remember, didn't he like find a picture of his wife or something?
Well, after he tries to save him,
Yeah.
after he dies,
Yeah.
but that's after that. He's like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? Then he finds the picture. But
Yeah.
I promise I'll do it. He lied. But I mean, after you stab him in the chest 7 times and he literally got blown up, and you shove dirt in his mouth because you're like, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah.
And then he puts his helmet up, it gets shot, but apparently no one wants to go in there and kill the guy. They just want to sit there and shoot from a distance.
It's kind of hard to, or like in those like type of war, that type of war is just terrible. It was so hard to move anything.
Yeah.
They
And I,
spend hundreds of like they sacrifice hundreds of lives to like go like 5 feet.
yeah, but it's a random ditch with only 2 people in it, and what's his name was on the other side, which was the German side, which means the French were past,
Yeah, but like that
and they
wasn't a
just gave
random
up.
ditch. That was like a bomb that exploded that caused that ditch.
But it was full of water. How did it get full of water immediately?
Because it rained.
It wasn't ready during the battle. I'm pretty sure that was the ditch that
Oh,
was already there.
yeah,
I just
it was
watched
already
it.
no, it was already there.
I just watched. Yeah, it was
It
already
was
there. Like,
already there, but it wasn't like nobody dug that ditch. It got bombed.
but you know what I'm saying? Like the French were charging the Russians,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
foot.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't understand. And
The Germans, you mean?
no, the French were rushing at that point because
The
they
French,
brought.
yeah, the French were charging the Germans.
Yeah, what I said.
Yeah, French were charging the Russians.
Oh, my bad. The Germans.
They,
I'm getting my
they
wars
were
mixed up.
rushing the Germans.
They were rushing the Germans. And then I liked this part because it cuts to whatever the German leader is that's like always smoking and just having this fine dining in his palace. And I was like, it's kind of a like good contrast to see that these higher ups aren't suffering at all and they're just having lavish dinners while their soldiers are all dying. And he's like, my dad was in the wars and I took over for him, looking to live on his legacy. And for 50 years, there was no wars. And what am I? What's a soldier without war? I am nothing. But he's like the head of everything.
Yeah, and he was gluttonous, and he got all the credit and all the
Fat.
rewards, but doing nothing.
Yep, and he's really stupid.
Yep.
And then they go to the amputation scene where everyone's shot. And then that was pretty brutal. They showed quite a bit of it for a little bit of the arms getting cut off.
Yeah.
And then they go to Jordan. They find Paul finds Jordan with a shot in the knee. And I'm like, oh, that boy gonna lose that leg. And then Jordan somehow found what's his name's underwear
Uh-huh.
and kept it on him and handed it to Paul. And so he finds Stanislav. They go back, bring John and food. And he's like, I'm worthless now. I can't be a cop with one leg. I'm not going to let him amputate this. I'm keeping it. Then he goes, you got any cutlery? Takes a fork and violently stabs himself in the neck like 7 times with the fork.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah. And I was just like, it's that bad. He'd rather die with maybe one of the most painful things I've ever seen, stabbing yourself with a fork, than just have a
Yeah.
leg amputated. I guess he'd just rather die. Then they go rob the farmers again. And then on the way there, Stanislav's like, you better go to university. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do since the war's ending. And he's like, you better go to university or I'll kill you. And if you die, I'm going to kill you, come and kill you. And they laugh about it. So they want to rob the same farmers where they got shot at before. Smart idea. Steal a few eggs.
Uh-huh.
They run away for a little bit. He got shot in the eggs. They pour it out. They drink it. Stanislav goes to take a piss in the woods. And that little boy that found them at the farm somehow chased them, not in the open field where they both were, in the very crowded woods. The little boy with a musket found Stanislav over 3 eggs.
Hey, it happened.
The goose? Nah, we'll let him go. 3 eggs.
though. That's what
Ooh,
matters.
we're hunting you down,
Well, because
boys.
think if like what if Stanislav didn't eat those eggs, but instead he raised them and then got 3 gooses, and then he had an infinite goose glitch to where he could never need food again.
Yeah, but isn't it with mother hens with eatable eggs, there's no embryo because it's like a false pregnancy is why they're just
Yeah.
producing eggs. So they couldn't even.
Yeah, most eggs aren't fertilized.
Yeah. Yeah. So wrong.
But
And that's what I was saying. It's like they didn't get a goose. They didn't get meat this time. They got 3 eggs. And then it was weird because he goes, dumb Stanislav, even though he's a unit in this movie. He goes,
Mhm.
Nothing rhymes with trifle. And I go, I can think of many things. And then Paul goes, rifle does, if you just take away the T.
Mhm.
And then, so what we figure out is, so the kid shot first, hit him, and I'm assuming Stanislav whips out his gun and kills the kid. That's what happens because they don't show it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like safe to assume.
And so they're trotting along, Stanislav's shot, bleeding out. The soldiers go by and they're like, help us, give us a ride. They say, no, screw you. We're just going to go on without you guys. I didn't understand that. And then he finally gets to the hospital and the doctor goes, he's dead. He got shot in the liver. Liver killed him. And I'm like, huh? Isn't that kind of funny? Like not alcohol or like drugs killed his liver. A bullet
Yeah.
did. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if that was what it was meant to be, but I just kind of laughed at myself. And then it's a cycle where the new little redhead skinny recruit hops off, and then Palmer turns in Stanislav, takes him under the wing immediately, and he's just like over it because he's lost everything. And he's got that Stanley Kubrick again. He has a few war films. He's got that, the look that Stanley Kubrick has in all his films, like in Full Metal Jacket, when he's about to kill him. He's like looking down, and the eyes are all piercing. You know what I'm talking about? The Kubrick look,
Yeah.
like in The Shining too, Jack Nicholson. So
Yeah.
he's looking at the fat gluttonous guy leader that's like, we're gonna attack one more time because we have 6 hours left until this armistice. For some reason, he's like, we want one more attack. Let's kill more people for no reason to send a message, I guess.
Well, because he doesn't want to be a loser.
But they're losing. They're going to lose as soon as the armistice
Yeah,
happens.
but his family's never lost.
Yeah, but what's the point of that? You're still going to lose after the 6 hours.
I think it was kind of like a suicide run.
Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't
Well,
go
yeah.
home. But I honestly thought I hypothesized because they like have a close up on Palmer, like you can see him because he kind of looks more disheveled than everyone.
Uh-huh.
Because it's a bunch of new recruits and he's got that look. I was like, oh, he's about to go Full Metal Jacket, like Stanley Kubrick, and shoot the guy up there about the massive strike. No, that doesn't happen. I still don't get the massive strike. I don't understand. I guess just sociopathic idiocracy.
Uh-huh.
Then he gets into another big hand-to-hand combat. He storms. He survives again. All the bullets, the bombs. Gets in there. He beats up two bigger dudes somehow again. After all he's been through, and these guys are just chilling there, eating, resting. He's able to beat up two more guys, kill like three more people, as the little new recruit's just sitting there shuddering and not helping while his face is shoved in mud.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's a cycle. It's kind of essentially what happened the first time. Stanislav was kicking ass and Palmer and everyone else was like, And then he gets, they fall down into the trench where he sees he sees the same picture that his friend Klopp put of the girl up a long time ago. And he gets stabbed in the heart from the back, goes down to his knees. You think he's dead. Nope, scratch that. War's over 2 seconds later. Right after he's stabbed, everyone just walks away. And
Yeah.
somehow, after being stabbed in the heart and everything he's been through, he stands up and takes a victory lap walking around for like a good 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, he just got stabbed through the heart. And he's walking around just looking at the sky, seeing the picture again. And then finally, the cycle happens where it's like, collect the things like Palmer had to do at the beginning when everyone died. He sees Palmer. Does he collect Palmer's tag? No, he just takes the handkerchief / underwear and
Uh-huh.
wraps around his neck.
I mean, I don't really think of the main character as like a person to like follow, more as like he's a vehicle for like the author or the director to like tell a story and show us all these different aspects of everything that went on. Cause like, yeah, they could have like had it be a believable story where like he's fatigued at the end and then he just dies, but or he's like a superhero and he lives, but he's more of like to me like just like a vehicle to show all these like unearthly and ungodly things that happen throughout all of the war, and to sort of like humanize what is very like a demonized side and show that one's not good or evil, they're both, war is awful, well, no matter the side you're on.
That's true. But I think that's every kind of most war films, is it not? I mean, we look at Fury,
No,
against all odds. Brad Pitt makes it till the end, dies right at the very end.
yeah,
Logan
but the
Lerman,
main Logan Lerman doesn't die, and he's the main
no,
character.
I guess yeah, that's true. But I feel like in that one, it's kind of a split between even time of
But like
Brad and
that
Logan.
Fury's like the growth of Logan Lerman and like him transcending to a man.
I would
Like,
say the same thing about Palmer too, though.
but his is like a life cycle. It ends where the movie began, which was picking up tags.
Yeah, but he's dead.
Yeah, but like,
But the war's over, so there is no cycle. I mean, it is a cycle, but the war's
yeah,
over at that point. And then,
but and it's he died for nothing.
yeah, but that's everyone. That's everyone. In every war film is technically they died for nothing.
Yeah, but like as much as maybe Fury, no, or maybe not Fury, but a lot of other ones, as much as they focused the I'd say this is good by focusing sometimes more on everybody else than the main character. He was the lens, but the side characters are what like the story is mainly about. and all the people that he interacts with.
The only person I would agree with that statement
Except-
about is Stanislav. He's the only one to me that gets like a lot of screen time because it almost to me at one point seemed like it was about to go Brokeback Mountain, like they were in love with each other for a hot
Yeah,
minute.
but like there's him, you see the like through the eyes of like a recruit, Palmer, an officer, Stanislaw, a general, that one dude, the you see a politician, you see like every branch and every aspect of the war and like how they're different. And then you
Yeah,
see
but
the
it's not
different
through
humanities in
Palmer's lens
people.
because he doesn't see the
Well, yeah,
generals and other stuff though.
yeah, but I mean, there's so many other aspects to where I just think he's more of like a lens more than the main character.
But is that Saving Private Ryan then too? Because
No,
Tom Hanks' character, because he's kind of that same way, meets a bunch of different characters trying to find Ryan. They find Ryan, they save him, and he dies.
yeah, but it's different because that's like the entire time just following them around. There's not a bunch of like storylines lined up together as much as there is.
Don't they have cutaways in Saving Private Ryan to other
They
matters?
do, but like it this that is more like character development for Ryan.
But is there not character development for Palmer because he's going through like different emotions of panic? At first, he's scared, then he
He died.
becomes. Yeah, but so does Tom Hanks.
Yeah. But the movie's not saving Tom Hanks, saving Private Ryan.
But I think there's a. I wouldn't say Palmer's just a lynch. I think there's a huge character arc for him. Of he goes in against his parents' wishes because he's so excited to join the war. And then they're
Yeah.
chanting, they're singing, and then he gets there and he's scared shitless. He wants to go home.
I just think he in this is more than others war movies.
I would say it's pretty
Maybe Saving
similar,
Private Ryan is
very
the
similar to Private Ryan.
most similar, but in terms of like any others, nah, not.
I need to watch Paths of Glory again because I only remember a few scenes in the trench warfare in that is very similar, but I guess it's kind of hard to do trench warfare otherwise because it's just trench warfare. But I think Saving Private Ryan's very similar because it's a group. It's Palmer and his group. We follow them throughout it. People get killed off. And then at the end, they both end up dying. Tom Hanks dies. I mean, he technically saves Private Ryan. So he at least does that. Palmer, on the other hand, just kind of dies for no reason at the end because of that final strike, like you said,
Yeah.
for no reason. Okay, but what's better? Saving Private Ryan, Quiet on the Western Front. In your eyes.
I would probably put Saving Private Ryan ahead.
Okay, let's go a tier down. Fury or Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
I still give the slight edge to Fury. I like the characters a lot more than that one.
Yeah.
The characters development in it is really good. Okay, so your final thoughts on it.
I think it's a great movie. In terms of the storyline, I liked it better than 1917.
Haven't seen that one.
Which is another World War One movie. Cinematography in 1917 can't be matched, but
I mean, this one was pretty good.
yeah, but this one 1917 was shot as if it was one kit guy following him around the entire time. It's like beautiful.
That was Nolan, right?
I'm not sure. I believe
No,
so.
he was Dunkirk. He was Dunkirk, right?
Yeah. I don't know who did 1917. That was Sam Mendes.
Mr. James Bond.
Mm-hmm. But I'd give it a great movie. I'd give it probably like a 4. Yeah, probably a 4.5.
Okay, okay. I would give it. I'm very torn between a 3.5 and a 4, but I think I'm gonna give it the slight 4. I give it
Okay.
the slight edge on 4. I just to me, there's a lot of like it's kind of hard with a war film because it's like I've seen it all before. I mean, this is a different war. I feel like honestly they kind of skip World War One a lot. It's all World War Two films,
Yeah.
Vietnam or Korean these days. So it's kind of interesting to see World War One, and I think it's really interesting to see it from the German perspective. There's no Americans. It's French versus German in this
Yeah.
essentially.
I'd
So that's
agree.
interesting. And the
Yep.
cinematography is pretty great. I'm not the
Yeah.
biggest fan of the music. A lot of the effects don't look great in certain points. I don't know what the budget was
Mhm.
like, so
It
I
was
don't
also a
know.
Netflix film, so
That's true. But they also gave Scorsese $1 trillion for The Irishman.
that's true.
But yeah, I would give it a 4.
Okay. Well,
I guess that's it for this week, huh?
yeah, that's it this week. Aaron will be coming up with the movie for next week, next episode. So
Yep, I got a
thank y'all.
few. I got a few in mind. I'll shoot you see which one you'd prefer to watch.
Yeah. But we're finally started uploading these, so
Yes, we
thank
finally
y'all
did.
for
We
watching.
finally have a name, boys and
Yup.
girls, because we have no viewers, but boys and girls that don't exist yet.
And
Take us to the
peace.
promised land.
Adios.
Adios, amigo.